So welcome to the today class. Today lecture on the separation of losses in a transformer. So up to here we conducted the different tests on a single phase transformer. So the first one is the OC and SC test. From the OC and SC test we have calculated the voltage regulation, efficiency of a transformer as well as the equivalent circuit of a transformer also. Next we studied the Sumpner's test on a transformers. Another name for the Sumpner's test is the heat run test. Heat run test. So what are the parameters we calculated in a OC and SC test? All those parameters we can also calculate in a Sumpner's test along with the temperature rise in a transformer. Temperature rise in a transformer. See here, in this class, we are going to study about the separation of losses in a transformer. Up to here, from the OC test, we calculated the iron losses in a transformer. Nothing but iron loss is nothing but a sum of hysteresis and eddy current loss. The collectively the total value we come to know, but we can't separate the hysteresis loss and eddy current loss separately. That we can done by conducting some test on a transformer, that is nothing but a separation of losses in a transformer. The name itself, it is the separation of losses. Which losses we are separating means the iron losses we are separating. How much quantity of the hysteresis loss and how much quantity of the eddy current loss, those quantities we are separating in a transformer. The main objective of this test is student can able to separate the hysteresis and eddy current losses in a single phase transformer. Now let me see how we are going to separate the hysteresis and eddy current loss in a transformer. Already we know the expression for the hysteresis loss, eddy current loss. Already we know the expression for the hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. Hysteresis loss equal to some KH into B maximum 1.6 FTV. The same manner, the eddy current loss equal to KE into B maximum square F square T square V square. F square T square V square. If you maintain the B maximum as a constant, how we are going to maintain the B maximum as a constant means from the EMF equation in a transformer E equal to 4.44 F pi M n number of turns in a winding. If we take the F this side, E by F is equal to 4.44 pi M n. This we can write it as a E by F equal to 4.44 n into pi m. Nothing but this is constant. If we maintain this E by F, if we neglect the voltage drop in a winding, this E becomes a V. Nothing but a V by F. See here what is V means? The voltage which is applied to the transformer. The voltage which is applied to the transformer. The F is nothing but a frequency of this voltage. If we maintain these two quantities as a constant, these two quantities as a constant, nothing but the ratio between the voltage and frequency is a constant, then the flux in a core also it is also the constant. Because this remaining term is the constant. It is constant. Because the number of turns, once the design of the machine is over, the number of turns in the primary winding as well as secondary winding does not changes. 4.44, it is absolute constant. So this total term is constant. So how we are making this pi m as a constant means by maintaining the V by F as a constant. See in this equation, see for a given transformer, if we maintain the V by F as a constant, then see here, this flux density in this equation, this flux density also constant. So WH we can write it as a some constant. This is also coming under this total term is constant. This total term is constant. So what is the terms which underlined here? The thing is constant. Nothing but that we are representing A. Now hysteresis loss equal to A into F. The same manner eddy current loss also, see here, This is constant and this is also constant, because we are maintaining the V by F as a constant. We are maintaining the V by F as a constant. So eddy current loss equal to some constant B into F square. Sum of these two, nothing but a iron loss. Iron loss equal to AF plus BF square. BF square. If you take the F this side, W by I by F equal to A plus BF. See, this is the final equation. So what this equation represents means iron losses by frequency equal to A plus BF. A plus BF. If you draw a graph between the, see here, now we have taken the frequency on the x-axis. This is frequency on the x-axis. And W by I by F, nothing but iron losses per one cycle. W by I, iron loss per cycle. If you draw a graph, this is the constant. A is nothing but a constant, nothing but here. This value. From this point, it will be going as a straight line. It will be going as a straight line. Now, this value is nothing but a, the constant A. See here, if you find the slope of this line, if you find the slope, if you take this is theta, now tan theta equal to B. That value is here. This A becomes a here. Now, if you know the iron losses in a transformer at a V by F ratio is a constant, then if you draw a graph this one, then we can easily find out the constant value A and B separately. Once you know the A and B constants means, then here we know the A and B. At any value of frequency, we can calculate the hysteresis loss as well as the eddy current loss by using expression 1 and 2. So first we are going to do the some attempt. We are going to conduct one test to find the values of A and B. This test is used to separate the iron losses in a transformer. Iron loss in a transformer Wi equal to hysteresis loss plus eddy current loss. Already we know the expression for the hysteresis loss. The hysteresis loss that we represented with a W suffix H, that is equal to KH into F into T into B maximum 1.6 V. Eddy current loss WE equal to KE into F square T square B maximum square V. Already we have seen all these expressions. So how we are maintaining the B maximum as a constant means by maintaining the V by F as a constant. So once we maintain the V by F as a constant, then iron loss equal to WH plus WE. This iron loss we can write it as a, the total iron loss we can write it as a AF plus BF square. So already we have seen what is the value of A and B. Now if you draw a graph between the, if you take the F this side, Wi by F equal to A plus BF, A plus BF. Now if you draw a graph between the this quantity to the, if you draw a graph between the this quantity to this one, frequency means we are getting the graph. This is the graph. What if you plot a graph between the iron losses per frequency to the frequency means, see here in this graph, this value is nothing but a. This is theta. If you find the slope of this one, that is representing the beta. Once you know the value of A and B, A and constant A and B, then we can easily calculate the hysteresis loss and eddy current loss at any value of the frequency. At any value of frequency. Now to plot this graph, we are conducting one experiment. In that experiment, we have to maintain the voltage applied to the transformer as well as the frequency as a constant. Voltage applied to the transformer as frequency is constant. By maintaining the V by F as a constant, we are applying the different voltage to the transformer. Different voltage to the transformer. That we will see. Circuit diagram is nothing but this is the circuit diagram for the separation of losses in a transformer. Separation of losses in a transformer. See here, if you observe the circuit diagram, this is the DPS2 switch, this is the DC supply, this is the DC motor. The prime mover, nothing but the armature of the DC motor is coupled to the armature of a alternator. Alternator is nothing but a AC generator. Alternator is nothing but a AC generator. See here, the both are coupled. So whenever the motor is rotating, the armature of the alternator also will be rotating. The voltage will be induced in alternator. That voltage will given to the one winding of a transformer. One winding of a transformer. This is the transformer. Now for this transformer, now we are going to separate the iron losses. Separate the iron losses. Separate the iron losses as a hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. So for this transformer, we have to apply the voltage by maintaining the V by F as a constant. V by F as a constant. See how we are going to change this voltage means by changing the, see here, this is the alternator, this is the armature winding where the voltage is induced in alternator. This is the field winding, this is the field winding, this is the rectifier circuit. Rectifier circuit. So whenever we are closing the switch, the supply is given to the rectifier circuit, that is converting AC supply to the DC supply, DC voltage. That voltage we are given to the this field winding. That voltage we are given to the field winding. Here one knob is there. By changing the top, we can control the field current IF. Whenever the field current changes, the voltage induced in this winding. This is the three-phase alternator. One winding it changes means remaining winding also will be changes. The voltage induced in this winding will be changes. That is Z. So in that manner, we are going to change the voltage which is applied to the transformer. Which is applied to the transformer. See here, by changing the field current, we can change the voltage. That voltage only we are applied to the transformer. That voltage only we are applied to the transformer. Now how we are going to change this frequency? See here, the frequency of the voltage induced in alternator, that is, formula is there, N equal to 120 F by P. Now from this equation, if you find the P, F equal to N into P by 120. So what is N here means the speed of the alternator. How much speed is maintained by the motor? The speed alternator also will be running at the same speed. Suppose if the motor is running at 1500 rpm, alternator also will be running at a 1500 rpm because both are mechanically coupled. Both are mechanically coupled. So here P is nothing but a number of poles for which the alternator is designed. Suppose if we take the number of poles as a 4 pole, I have taken some example. Now this equation becomes a N into 4 by 120. This becomes a N by 30. N by 30. So the frequency equal to N by 30. Nothing but the for given alternator which has a force of 4 poles. Now the relation between the frequency to the speed of a alternator, where the speed of alternator is same as the speed of motor. This is the relation. This is the equation. This you can take the equation 2. So from this equation we can say that by changing the speed of a motor, we can regulate the frequency applied to the transformer. We can regulate the frequency applied to the transformer. So we can change it by changing the speed of motor. How we are going to change the speed of a motor means by means of this rheostat, field rheostat. So one rheostat is placed in the field winding. So whenever we are increasing this one, the field current will be decreases. The field current is decreases means the speed of the motor will be increases. See, in that manner we are going to change the speed of a motor, so that the frequency of the voltage which is applied to the transformer is changed. That is frequency. See here, finally, how we are maintaining the V by F as constant means by changing the field current we are going to change the voltage. By changing the speed of the motor, you can change the frequency of the voltage which is applied to the transformer. We are changing such a way that the V by F ratio is constant. V by F ratio is constant. Now here, to measure the how much power is taken by the transformer, here we kept a 1 wattmeter. To measure how much voltage we are applied to the transformer, here we kept a 1 voltmeter. The secondary winding is open. It is not connected anything. Whenever the secondary winding of a transformer is open means, it is taking some amount of power means that is only the iron losses. That is only the iron losses. So, by applying the voltage to the transformer at a different levels, where the V by F ratio is constant, we are noting down the wattmeter reading. Already we know the how much frequency is generated in alternator from this relation. Right? By changing the speed of motor, so that the frequency will be changes. So we know how much frequency is generated here for given alternator. So once we know that information means, then voltage also we know by means of this voltmeter. You have to maintain the V by F ratio is constant. Whenever the V by F ratio is constant means, then you note on the wattmeter reading. So in that manner, we are going to take the 5 to nearly, we are going to take the 10 readings. Now we are going to see the procedure. Make the connections as shown in the circuit diagram. By changing the speed of DC motor and field excitation of the alternator, maintain the V by F as a constant. Maintain the V by F ratio is constant before apply to the transformer. Note on the readings of wattmeter, voltmeter. See here only 2 meters are there. One is wattmeter, another one is a voltmeter. Then again you repeat the procedure. Next, voltage, corresponding frequency. Note down the readings of wattmeter and voltmeter. But in every case, we have to maintain the V by F ratio is constant. That is very, very, very important. This is observation table, serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points, because it does not take more points also, because it is a straight line only. If we know the 2 points, then we can easily draw that graph. See here we have taken the 4 readings. See here the frequency. What is the frequency we are maintaining here? Frequency F1, corresponding voltage V1, V by F ratio, and wattmeter reading. Suppose here, let me take the example as a V1 as a 230 volts. The frequency is 50 hertz. We are getting the sum ratio, that is 230 by 50. Now here we are getting some constant value. How much we are getting? 23 by 5 means 4 point. Nearly we are getting the 4.6 we are getting. That constant value becomes a 4.6. Now wattmeter reading. Some you are getting the, how much means you are getting the 80 watts, first case. This, once the wattmeter reading is known, W by F, nothing but this wattmeter reading by this one, nothing but a 80 divided by 50. 80 divided by the 50. Then come to the speed. Here we can take it as speed as a 1500 rpm. Here we can take in the speed as 1500 rpm. Now second case. Suppose if you are applying the second case, the frequency if you take the 40 hertz. If you take the 40 hertz, how much voltage you have to maintain? Because V by F ratio should be constant. V by F ratio is constant. Suppose if you maintain the frequency is V by 40, this constant value becomes a 4.6. So now the voltage becomes a 4.6 into 40. How much voltage we are getting here? By changing the field current, you have to maintain that voltage here. Nothing but here that voltage becomes a 4.6 into 40. Then only the V by F ratio is constant. V by F ratio is constant. Suppose if you multiply this one, how much you are getting? Nothing but this voltage becomes a 184 volts. First case, if you maintain the 50 hertz, you have to maintain the 230 volts. But if you maintain the 40 hertz, then you have to maintain the 184 volts. Now we take the ratio between these two, we are getting the same value, 4.6. So if we measure the iron losses, we are getting the 100 watts. W by F, 100 by some 40. How much speed? So already we know the relation between the speed to the frequency. The frequency equal to, we have taken the P as a 4, 60, we are maintaining the 40, 40 into 60 divided by 4 equal to N. Nothing but how much? This 10, 600 RPM. Nothing but if you maintain the speed of a motor as a 600 RPM, if you maintain the speed of motor as a 600 RPM, the frequency of the voltage induced in an alternator becomes a 40 Hertz. The frequency of the voltage induced in armature becomes a 40 Hertz. Now by changing the field current, you have to maintain the voltage as a 180 volts, 184 volts, something you are getting. So at every reading, you have to maintain the V by F ratio. Once you maintain the V by F ratio, then you note down the wattmeter reading. The wattmeter reading divided by the frequency we are getting here, the corresponding speed. So in that manner, you are going to take the 3 to 4 readings. 3 to 4 readings. Once you know this data, then we can draw a graph between, already we have seen. Once you know this data, take the W by F on a y-axis and frequency on a x-axis. If you draw a graph, means you are getting this type of graph. This value becomes a. So if you find the slope of this line, that becomes a tan theta equal to B. Tan theta equal to B. Right? Okay. Now here we are going to see one problem. The test data during the separation of losses on a transformer at a constant V by F, ratio, find the hysteresis and eddy current loss at a 45 Hertz. The table is given, the test data is given at constant V by F. Then they ask you to find out how much is the hysteresis loss and eddy current loss at a 45 Hertz. This is the data. Now the frequency is given, wattmeter reading is given. All these readings they have taken at a V by F as a constant. All these readings we have taken as a V by F as a constant. Now the W by F, nothing but a 82 by 55, we are getting some value. 88 by 50, we are getting some value. 72 by 40, we are getting some value. 64 by 40, again you are getting the, this is 45, sorry, this is 45, this is 40, you get some value. Now you know the value of omega W by F. Now we take a proper scale. See here I will explain only the procedure only. See you should take the proper scale. See this quantity we have taken the y-axis. This is the y-axis, this is x-axis. The same manner here we have taken the frequency. We should take the proper scale, 55. So here you can take the 10 Hertz, 20 Hertz, 30 Hertz, 40 Hertz, 50 hertz. Next 60 hertz. Nothing but here on the x-axis we have taken the 1 centimeter equal to 10 hertz we have taken. Definitely we should use the graph sheet only. If you use the graph sheet only, you can get the proper values, correct values. The same manner, after finding these values, we are getting the some absolute value. So based upon the absolute value, now we have to take the scale for the y-axis. Now the y-axis scale becomes a sum you have taken y-axis scale that we have taken as a 1 centimeter equal to 0.5. 0.5. See what is 0.5? The 0.5 becomes a W by F. Nothing but the iron losses per one cycle. Iron losses per one cycle. This one, this quantity. Now take the, this is 0.5. This is 1. This is 1.5. This is 2. You should not get the value more than the 2. In this manner. So for first point we are getting the, suppose if you are getting the first point here. Now the first point at what is the first point? 55. Nothing but here we are getting the first point. Sum we are getting here 55. 55 and this value we are getting the first point. The second point 50. 50 and some value, nothing but here we are getting here 50. Next 45 and some value. See here at 45 here we get us one more point. Next 40. Here we are getting the, this is 45. This is first one is 55. 50. Here 55. This is 45. This is 40. In this manner we get here. Now by means of a scale, you draw a straight line. This is straight line. Already we know this. This is a straight line. You draw a line, straight line by means of scale only, that is intersecting the y-axis at one point. Now you have to measure this length. Now you have to measure this length. Once you measure this length, then you have to convert it into the values. Suppose here we are getting the 1 centimeter you have taken 0.5. No, suppose here getting 0.5. The length we are getting the 0.5. 0.5 into 0.5, 0.25. Nothing but this A value 0.25 we are getting. The same manner, see from this point, now we have draw one horizontal line with a scale only. That should be parallel to the x-axis. That should be parallel to the x-axis. Now we have to find the slope of this one. Don't measure this theta. Don't measure this theta and find the tan theta. You should not do that one. See here, at this point you take the one vertical line between this dotted line and this line. Now apply the tan theta. See here, this point you take it as A, this you take B, this you take it as C. In this triangle, if you apply the tan theta equal to, see here, BC length of the BC. Now from this point to this point you measure this length BC. BC divided by AB. Then if you know the length of the BC here, in the same manner AB, nothing but how much you are getting 40. AB becomes a 40, nearly you are getting the 40. And BC becomes a 0.5 to 1, nothing but 0.5. How much you are getting? Then this is equal to B. B how much you are getting means 0.5 by 40, nothing but a 0.05 divided by 4. Then again you can simplify, approximately you are getting the 0.0125. Something we are getting in this manner. This is not correct values, you have to work out, right? So we know the value of A. See here, we know the value of A. Now separately we are writing A equal to 0.25 whereas B equal to 0.0125. We got the constants from this experiment. So now the hysteresis loss equal to, so where you have to find out the hysteresis loss? At 45 heads. Now the hysteresis loss at 45 heads, in the brackets we are writing, that is equal to A